You're asking yourself, you're a consultant, what the heck do you need to know anything about video editing for? Well, today I'm going to share with you how you as a consultant need to build a personal brand, how you can do that on social media channels, how you can do that using simple editing software and something as simple as your iPhone to capture the recordings. So if this is all new to you, get ready because I'm going to share the basics so that by the end of this video, you'll be able to record and edit and post your first video to either a social media platform or to YouTube. Now, I'm going to give you a little caveat first. Most of the social media platforms have their own editing tools inside of the platform. So if you're going to do an Instagram reel, for example, all you have to do is shoot video. It's on your phone. You open up Instagram, you select reel, then you can select the video, you can trim the video, you can add music to the video, you can add subtitles to the video. That's all for social media. We're not talking about that right now. What I'm talking about is creating a YouTube channel for your consulting business that talks about the business problems that you can solve for your clients. In my world, a lot of the consultants that I work with who are 50 plus have never had to use any of these tools, have never had a YouTube channel before, have never had to worry about personal branding. So I'll have other videos about personal branding, and I'm going to be putting out a PDF, a free PDF that's going to talk all about how you can build your own personal brand. But before I do that, I just thought I would share with you, why I'm doing what I'm doing today and why the setup is the way that it is. If you watch on YouTube video creators like Dan Martell, he is known as the guy in the blue t-shirt. He has a SaaS company. He used to be a public speaker. I met Dan in London. He's Canadian. I met him years ago at a conference where he was the speaker. He had went on to grow his Dan Martell SaaS Enterprises, and he has the SaaS Academy. And for the last 2 years of my corporate life, I got to be part of that SaaS Academy as a customer. And now when I watch Dan and I see the videos he's recording, he's got a lot of revenue coming into his company. He has a team of professional editors who are helping make his videos really super snazzy and quick editing. And I'm going to tell you something. The business behind his business isn't 50 plus year old people like myself. It is younger entrepreneurs who are ADD to start with, and they need fast and snappy to keep their attention. If you're 50 plus and you've just lost your job, or you've been let go, or you're looking for a new career change and you're not quite sure where to turn and you thought about becoming a consultant, you've got the patience to sit through a 10 to 15 minute video from me that's just going to simply explain how things work. Now, if you want to pay for all that editing, you could, but here's the thing. You're going to get stuck in a place where you're waiting for perfection to happen before you ever post a single thing. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to learn. And to be honest with you, last night I watched a video creator who's also 57, and he creates videos the exact same way. These are more lifestyle and fitness videos, but the way that he edits is he does off-the-cuff setups. He records the video as I've explained in my eCam video, and then, every minute or so, he changes where he is. So there's different scenery. That different scenery is enough to keep the viewer's attention if his message becomes less engaging. You're waiting to see what the next video is going to be, or the next location is going to be on his expansive farm in Utah, I think is where he is in the mountains. So it's interesting and compelling that the message is interesting, but I need to also be satisfied with something going on in the background. You're going to find in my videos, there's not a ton of editing. And so you don't need to have fancy editing software. I've actually seen really, I don't want to say poor, but poor audio quality and poor background quality, poor lighting quality videos get created and get thousands of views because the information was interesting and the quality of it was good enough that the listener, the viewer, paid attention. So by the end of this video, you're going to learn how to use iMovie, and I will tell you right now, if you're on a PC, Movie Maker is the free software. I think it may have been shelved. I'm not sure. I haven't used it in 5 years. I know copies of it still exist. So you could put Movie Maker onto your PC. I just don't think it's supported anymore with updates. So that's a little bit of a limitation. You don't have to go get fancy video editing software. Not required to put out a basic video that has relevant information. So here's how you can create a video using iMovie. I'm going to share my screen here using my Ecamm tool. And now you can see in the background, I've just opened up iMovie. iMovie lives down here in the docket. Now I don't leave this turned on while I'm doing other work because it uses a lot of memory. So in this case, I'm going to open it up, use it, and then close it again. If you recall, I've mentioned in my previous video about Ecamm that the first video that you have to drop into iMovie needs to be 1080p or higher, so that when you want to save this and share it to social media, and for people to be able to view it cleanly on their smartphones and on their smart TVs, then you want 1080p or higher, even into 4K. And you can't do that unless the first video in the timeline is a high quality. So I've got this cinematic shot of Ralph, my daughter's dog, who used to be with me all the time and now is out in British Columbia, and I'm missing him terribly. I miss my daughter too, but I miss my puppy as well. But Ralph sat with me one day while I was shooting videos, and this is what I captured. This is kind of the intro in my timeline to make sure my first video is always 1080p. And then I put this at the outro because I think this makes people smile. I always smile when I see friendly dogs. Hopefully Ralph brings a smile to your face. So I've got iMovie. I clicked on it down here in the dock. It opened up my last movie. Here's my last movie. Normally, if I haven't gotten rid of any of the other video media that's in my timeline, and down here where Ralph's face is, oh, maybe you can't see that because maybe I need to move myself over here. Down here on the timeline where Ralph's face is, this is the start of where I'm going to start adding videos into the timeline, which is how I edit the voice, the sound, and everything else inside of iMovie. Now, I'll go back over here. I shot a video about Ecamm, and that's the software that I use to help create the videos. And right now what I'm going to do is just drag and drop this into my media. So there it is. I now have that video up in my media file. It's 16.5 minutes long. I'm now going to pull this down and I'm going to put it right in front of Ralph there. So now what I've done is I've achieved two things. I'm going to move myself actually down here. This might be a better spot for now. I've achieved a couple of things. I've got a 1080p movie to start that's going to give me high quality. I've dragged and dropped my newly created content into the media file. I then drag the media file down to the timeline where I can start editing it. Right here is where you can see I have a settings tab. In the settings tab, I'm going to come up here. In the settings tab, if I scroll across, you can see that it's expanding the video file in the timeline. And on the bottom, down here where you can see this yellow and this sort of up and down line, this is my audio file. I can reduce the audio file to 0. I can bring it up to 400%. And typically what happens is when you see that yellow line, you'll notice in a lot of my videos, I leave it at 100% because I want the audio to show up. But if I bring it down to say even 50% or 60% quality, you can see that there's only a couple of times where my voice gets to the point where it's a little bit louder and it might cause a bad audio effect on your TV at home. So, normally I try to bring it down a little bit just so there's not a lot of vibration coming through your speakers. So you can see here in the beginning that I have a timeline with a bunch of dead space. So let's watch what happens here. Have you ever wondered how, and see that's me talking into the video, and I've got this run up to me speaking. So the first thing I'm going to do is, this is my timeline arrow, and I'm just moving it around with my mouse. I'm going to go right to the start of, just after I took that first breath, I'm going to left click it, then I'm going to right click, I'm going to hit split clip. Now, split clip allows me to break apart this full piece of media here. I've brought it down to the timeline. Now I'm going to splice it up down here and get rid of any of the ums in the video. I'm going to make sure the audio sounds right. I'm going to get rid of what I don't want. So to do that, I'm going to hit split clip. And you can see now that clip has a piece chunked off it. I'm going to right click that and make sure you're right clicking the one that's highlighted. This one's not highlighted. The one to the left is highlighted. Right click that, hit delete, and it's gone. Now when I start this video, have you ever wondered, there's no lag. I jump right into it. So this is really good if you want to bring 2 or 3 videos together. If I wanted, even though Ralph's in here already, I'm just going to show you, if I just split this clip right here and I brought in Ralph in the middle, I can drop him in there again. So wondered how, what do you think, Ralph? And see, right there, I've got Ralph back into the video a second time because I went up and I grabbed that media and I brought him back in. I can bring it down as many times as I want, and that's really helpful if you're showing sort of a hook at the beginning of your video, something amazing happened, and then you stop, and now the viewer is sort of hooked and they want to wait to see it happen later on in the video. So this is simple editing. This is clipping, this is deleting, this is getting rid of, and I'll normally go through this entire video. I shoot it usually in one straight shot. I'll go through there and I'll listen to it and I'll get rid of all the ums that I can, because that's not really great to listen to. And after that, if I need to do any special effects, and I'll show you an example of a special effect, was I can bring Ralph in here and put him above the timeline. And when I do that, this video is going to play, but my audio is what you're going to see. I can actually slide this right to the beginning. So if we go here, have you ever wondered how YouTube creators, now I don't know if you heard that, but on the back end of that, you could hear me talking to Ralph. So if I just come in here and delete that or move that volume down to 0, now I've got a situation where when I play this, have you ever wondered how YouTube, all you see is Ralph yawning, you don't hear any of me talking to Ralph. So this is the beautiful part about, and one of the basic things you need to learn about editing, is that you can adjust the volume when you come back to editing, provided you've got good audio going in. I would always encourage you to use either a professional mic. I've got the Blue Yeti here that I'm using, or have a mic set up on your phone that is attached to your shirt. You know, a quick lavalier mic. I think I've got one that cost me 30 bucks, and I use that when I'm outdoors because it just picks up the audio quality that much better, and it gives you a separate track that you can bring into. You've got audio on one file and your video on the other, and you can adjust it accordingly. Now I'm going to get rid of Ralph here for a sec, and I'm going to come back to the main video. So inside of iMovie, there are a ton of editing tools that you can use that will help you to drop in an overlay, to zoom in on your face, to have a Ken Burns effect, which is basically you start from a zoom out and it pans in and zooms into a specific point on the screen. There's a lot of things I could jump into here that I'm not going to in this particular video. I would rather, if you're interested in learning how to do those editing techniques, drop a comment in the video below and I'll address them in a separate video. This one is just basically to get you through the basics of how do I get a video up onto YouTube. So once you've done the basic editing, you've gotten rid of the clips that you don't want, all you have to do is come back into the video. You're going to come up to the top here and you're going to say File, Share, and you're going to share to social media platforms. Now remember when I said that it was going to give you the option, it always starts at 640, which is a really low quality. But now that because I've got that cinematic video in there, I can go as high as 1920p and save this video in that higher format. Right now, most videos get saved at 1080p unless they're in 4K, which you don't need to worry about. But once I've done that, I just hit next, and it's going to say, where do you want to save it? I'll save it to my desktop. I'll rename it as Ecamm or whatever the movie's going to be. I'll hit save, and literally in 5 to 10 minutes, just depending on the length of the movie, I will have that video saved to my desktop. So the whole point of creating this video was just to share with you that there are these free tools. And It would be pointless for me right now to try to spend 3 hours on camera going through every single step with you. I think what's even more important is for you to just watch the first video, learn that this tool exists, go shoot some video, upload it into iMovie, start playing with iMovie, and if you don't know what something does, open up ChatGPT in the window right beside your video screen and say, I'm in iMovie. What is this thing Ken Burns effect? How do I use it? What is this thing clip? How do I use it? What is this thing called a snippet? How do I use it? How do I save a movie in 1080p when I've entered in the video first in something of lower quality? And it's going to say, sorry about your luck. You should have read this first. So hopefully that's the big caveat for you, is I've made that mistake several times, that I've uploaded what I thought was a great video, but I didn't realize it was shot lower quality digital format and then became useless. So at the end of the day here, what I'm trying to share is there are free tools. Go get them, download them onto your computer, take videos, drop them into the editing suite, do it in a batch where you're comfortable doing it. Make some notes if you have to the next time you come back if you've never done this before. Keep the branding consistent, keep the location consistent, unless you want to show some stuff at your clients. You could do that too. I've often thought about going and shooting video at my clients' offices and at their wineries, because I work with wineries and breweries for my consulting practice. I've often thought of going and shooting there, but I think that my consultants, maybe you don't want to see that, maybe you do, let me know in the comments. I think you're looking for substance, and the substance here is what video tool can I use? How do I quickly edit and clip, save it, and then once that video is saved, I just drag and drop it up into my YouTube channel. So if you want to see what that looks like, really simply put here, I'll share another screen here. I'm going to bring in my YouTube channel. Right, so here's my YouTube channel. Let's go to the creator page. So here's my channel content, and right here, all I have to do is hit on create, and it's going to say, hey, upload a video. So I'm going to go grab that video off my desktop that I just saved, and I'm going to drop it in, follow the steps, and now I've got a YouTube video published to YouTube. There's also inside of YouTube, if you want to go down this road, there's an audio library. And the audio library is where you can find thousands of audio tunes that you could have as sort of background music while your video is playing. Again, that's great if you're telling a story. It adds to the ambiance, but I'm not sharing a cinematic story. I'm just trying to share what works and the quickest, easiest way to get there. So I'm going to cut this video off now. It's been almost 20 minutes. If you enjoyed this video, if you'd like me to go deeper on any of the tools inside of iMovie, just let me know what they are in the comments, and I'll make a video about those specifically. If you're new to consulting and wondering why you would need to have a YouTube channel, I'm putting out a PDF. It will be eventually on this. It's not there yet, but it'll eventually be on this video as a downloadable free PDF that you can get that explains how to market yourself as a consultant in your niche and have social branding that goes along with that, that's in line with that. And if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing. And if you are interested in using High Level as the backbone software to run your consultancy, go ahead and use the link in the description below. It is going to share with you my affiliate link, where you become part of my affiliate community, where we have weekly coaching calls. We basically get everybody up to speed together so that everybody is learning what's new in the world with respect to AI and all the software tools that we use to run our practice. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your patience as you watched through this. Hopefully it was good value for you. What do you think, Ralph? Was that a good one? Oh, was it super boring? I don't know. I think it was a good video. What do you think? You don't look impressed.